Chernobyl cleanup is ongoing, of course, as all nuclear cleanup is. But there's several recent videos on YouTube about it, some of which I have yet to see. But in Zorhaz Medvedev's book that I read parts of in print years ago, the nearby town of the workers' town of Pripyat, which is their equivalent of Richmond, was of course immediately abandoned, and still is so evidently. But there are other nearby communities which were temporarily abandoned, and then they scraped up the streets, replaced the roofs, threw a bunch of dirt on top of the lawns, and moved most of the people back in. But the wildlife around Chernobyl now is thriving because there are very few humans around to bother them. The trees are blooming, the deer are just huge herds thriving. Interesting phenomenon. As someone pointed out, they may have a shorter life, but hey, they're loving it. They did not have a containment dome, which many reactors in the U.S. have. Hopefully all, but I don't know about that. Which is a protective dome, which, if there's a problem, the problem is contained, hopefully within the dome. And Chernobyl did not have one. And it was a complete meltdown, which was determined by the identification of certain exotic metals in the fallout that landed on Europe and elsewhere. And that determined that that metal required about 3,000 degrees to melt it. And only a complete core meltdown would do that. And they got soil samples from London. The British Embassy in Moscow had an open garden. And they just went out and scooped it up and shipped it out. Diplomatic package. That's how they got their soil samples.